How's it going, guys? Day 5 of week 5. Didn't train this morning, but we went to this little public pool here with a bit of a diner around it, which was pretty nice and chill. I tried to go to the sauna this morning and couldn't actually find the sauna. It was meant to be at a temple. And yeah, we ended up going to, well, it said sauna on Google, but we ended up at that public pool type thing, so we just chilled there. Didn't swim, the pool was kind of gross, but yeah, it was a nice little area though, just to chill out at. What's interesting about the temples is they have blind people that do massages, so I was pretty keen to get one of those for the experience, because I thought they'd have some heightened senses or something, but didn't end up going there, didn't end up doing that, so missed out. But yeah, so we didn't train in the morning. Can't remember why, but this is just the afternoon session now. And admittedly, I was contemplating not going all day. And it might have just been because I didn't train that morning one. Just had time to talk myself out of it. But pretty wrecked. When I was sitting at the pool, I was absolutely annihilated. And, in the end, I thought, nah, you're going to go, because some of the best things I learned, some of the best things come out from those days where I really didn't want to go. So just didn't want to miss an opportunity. So I had to rip in, plus time here is nearly over. So, but yeah, on pads of volley here, and really liking the way my kicks were flying up from the hip today. It was good. They are starting to get smoother. Trying to work on not doing that 2 movement thing in the left leg when I kick right. And yeah, look at the elbows there. Elbows are a lot better. Body posture's a lot better. Still not letting my hip come entirely back freely though, which is a bit annoying, but overall looking better. Yeah, sometimes just having that morning off is worth it. And probably admittedly my flaw, honestly, I tend to overtrain and not listen to my body. And you might have heard me say before, I honestly believe there's a fine line between sort of training smart and caring for injuries and then just being a pussy. And honestly, your brain's going to always try to be a little sissy and stay home or whatever it is, and it's going to give you all these little reasons to not be at training. And that's what a lot of the process of Muay Thai is trying to find that line, whether you're being smart or you're just trying to get out of it. And I've gotten a lot better at finding it. It's been over a decade of training, and admittedly, I would say there's been many times that I've pushed through training and I should not have. I've pushed through surgery stuff and I should not have. And there's certainly things that are sort of suffering because of times like that. But I honestly believe it goes back to that old saying, it's better to die on your feet than live on your knees. I think there's a lot of people out there that are sitting at home that think they know where that line is, and they don't train when they could have trained. And I think if you sort of do it that way, if you're on the sort of glass half empty side of things and you're sitting at home, more often than not, I believe you're not going to find the line as good as I have, who's someone who's pushed through. So, but also you've got to consider, again, priorities. I do this, I live and breathe all this stuff. I've got a business that does all this stuff. I'm not interested in working. This is what I do. So it comes down to if you've got a day job and kids to run, it's a bit of a different story. You got to be sensible. So just thought I'd make that little disclaimer. I'm not trying to dig at anybody that doesn't push through, that has other priorities, of course. So, everyone's on a different path. A little bit of footage here of BP low kick, and look how Crew Yo is holding both legs together. So it's a 2-on-1 philosophy. That's pretty sure I put that in another video already. That's still super interesting to me that they do it like that. Probably just to save. They're all about saving your body here, which is that's definitely going to help with it. Here's the Thai boy hitting pads with Crew V. I think he just did kicks on it pretty much, but just look how smooth he is. Man, if I was half as good as this, I'd be stoked. These little Thai boys, sometimes they make out like they don't really know a whole lot, but when Crew Yo's yelling at them, it's incredible when they're working on the fly under pressure, when they're doing retention, they're balancing, they're doing little footworks. They're turning off, elbowing, finding holes, dumping. And they all just do it with that Thai spirit that us Westerners just aren't gonna bloody get. It's crazy, man. Like, it's just look at the knees. Look at the switch knees. They're just, it's so nonchalant yet so effective. It just makes me wonder, how would you be if you grew up in their circumstances and had the opportunity to sort of be like that? You'd get so good. Watching this really motivates me to learn more Thai language, because there's so many things that you're just not going to understand if you don't speak the language. There's times where they can't translate things because there's not even words for what they're saying. Like, if you think of, like, you know, speaking French or something like that, those guys have got like basically a whole entire language that's evolved from the way they thought right back in the day. And it really separates your mentality when you think about it, you know. So you imagine, like, you got the Thais, they've got certain words that say certain things, and that's one thing is, like, that splits the difference from us and them, is like we have this real analytical way of thinking, analytical way of doing things. We're so, like, the questions that we ask, they kind of just look at you and chuckle and go, typical. Like, it's just the way we think. We think about how things work and all that, and it's almost, I mean, without even knowing what they're saying, it's almost like they're talking about the energy. That, you know, there's a word called roop, which I think almost translates to like photograph or something in English, but that's basically, like, I guess your aura, or like the way you're presenting yourself. Like, there's no really way to explain it, but they it's like they got an energy about them, and you can really see it in the ring. And you'll hear them say, like, certain words or something, and then the way they change up what they're doing according to the instruction, you can see they're just doing it from a deeper place than what we think. And yeah, there's definitely something interesting about that makes me want to learn the language. I'd love to know the way they tick a little bit more, get a little bit more understanding of it. And yeah, they just feel, they just do, and they just feel. And I mean, if you even watch them trying to hang a bag, it's just a circus, because they don't think about nothing, they don't plan nothing out, they just kind of start doing. And as Dan would say, is like, we think then we do, whereas they do, and then they wonder why it's not working. And it's so true. But I also believe this mentality is why they're so good at Muay Thai, because they don't think about things, they just kind of do it. And if it's wrong, they just move the hell on, and it's like crazy to watch. It really is. But, you know, going back to sort of just learning the language, it's just, if you think of it like this, like, in order to truly understand a word that you've just learnt, you have to attach a feeling for it with a sense of context. So if someone told you the word laughter and you've never heard it before, and they tried to explain it, you wouldn't truly know what it meant. It wouldn't really sink in until you're at a family barbecue or something and everybody starts laughing, and then they go, oh, laughter. Then you go, oh, I get it, because you get to attach the feeling to it and the experience with context. So yeah, witnessing the Thais sort of do things, you know, and then they're talking to them, they're saying certain things, and it's so difficult for me to explain, but yeah, it's like they really just let their energy go and harness it in a better direction based on their own idiosyncratic ways. And honestly, the fact that I'm trying so hard to explain it to you is making the point. So anyway, we'll leave it there. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Stay tuned for day 6 of week 5.